and there we go. Okay, so I hope you guys had a great and productive June as we close in on the last day, and then hope you guys are getting ready to have a great 4th of July weekend with your friends, with your family. We got a ton of momentum as a team right now. We're doing a ton of unbelievable things on the virtual side. We've got people making more money now than they've ever made before, more money than they've ever made in their obviously in their business right now, but more than what they've ever made in their careers previous. I know Eli, Marissa, Haley, like we've got a Dave, we just got a ton of people winning. There's more than that too. So Janet's rocking. We have a ton of people and new people too. I could name a ton of new people that are firing on all cylinders and booking appointments and making money. So Ethos. Okay, I want to get into some different things about and I'm really like some of the stuff that if you guys don't get on the Monday morning calls, like there's just so much gold on there. Nick dropped so like a bunch of the stuff I wanted to cover tonight. He went over and I'm like, shit, like that's exactly what I was going to talk about. But all that stuff is so true. So let's do a couple quick things real quick for those of you guys who do not know. Couple things that are going on in the business. So 3 weeks from now, or a little bit less than 3 weeks from now, so make sure you have your flights, your tickets, and stuff like that. The Alliance is doing our family reunion, and it's going to be in Burlington at the corporate headquarters. That'll be the 17th through the 19th. Most of us were flying in Friday, and we're leaving on Sunday, like middle of the day Sunday. Okay, so make sure you get your tickets to that. That's our next major event. You get your points for Thailand. And obviously, like the last event they did in Burlington was really, really good. They've got great speakers. They've got a different agenda this time. And what I've always learned about the big events, whenever I feel like I don't really need to go, is when I really, really need to go. Like this, there's always something new that I'll learn from somebody else that's newer in the business or been in longer and is just rocking it. And just the company in general, even outside of our team, has a ton of momentum right now. Like the Adaki team, there's a ton of new momentum in the Alliance in general. A ton of new stuff that we're doing on the annuity side, estate planning side, virtual side. I know Brandon's team's crushing it with virtual sales as well. So it's just good to go rub shoulders with people in the company who are doing really, really well. And it rejuvenates me every time I get to go to one of those, and I just get to reset, look at my goals, see where I'm at. And we're kind of at the 6-month mark in the year. And that's one thing I always do. Like every quarter, I kind of evaluate, like, am I on path for what I set, my goals for at the beginning of the year? And I either am or I'm not. And like, we're literally like, when you go look at your projected income in your ARC, and I know some of you guys are brand new, but I'm saying for the people who have been here for more than 6 months, you can either like that or not. I mean, we're 6 months through the year. So, if you don't like what you have going, I mean, you can change that in a heartbeat. This business can get smoking for you really, really fast. So I love it when we get to have the big events. We get to see all the great people, see the corporate staff. We're going to get to see Nene up in there. We're going to do a team night. I believe it's on Friday night. We're going to rent out by the way, Burlington, moving on up. We've got that really cool place that we're renting out on, I think that's Friday night for a team event. So that'll be fun. And then the most important one. So definitely get your tickets for that. We have tickets floating around for that as well. So message me, message Nick, message Benet. If you want to get tickets for that, get them there. Okay. Fly in Friday, leave Sunday. That's number one. Number two, September 20th. Okay. This is the last event. Everything else we have, you can find under the Alliance events. For those of you guys who weren't in Vegas, Vegas was insane. Like there was just a ton of good content in Vegas. Okay. And we've decided as a team, since our team specifically is doing more of the virtual route, and so we specifically want to train you guys on exactly what we're doing and moving our model forward for virtual. So September 20th in Dallas, we're going to be doing it's going to be a 2-day event. And we actually have Mark Cassetta that's going to be coming to that one to speak at that one. And it's not going to be one, it's going to be we're going to do like a full day Saturday and then like a half day Sunday. 100% on virtual sales. There'll be some stuff on just basic final expense for those of you guys who are still running in person and things like that. And then Nick is going to do, we're going to have 3 carrier reps there. Okay. We already have Derek from Moo coming, Roberto from American Amicable, American Amicable. And then we're working on an annuity rep too. And then obviously Nick is going to do a ton of talking about annuities, all that kind of stuff. So we had so much content in Vegas and we crammed it all into one day. This will be able to be a little bit more spread out. You know, Friday will be a shorter day, or Thursday will be a shorter day. Oh my God. Saturday is going to be shorter. We're going to be able to go out to dinner, have some fun. We'll have some activities. Sunday morning, we're going to do like a 3 to 4 hour retirement segment. Boom. And then people can head to the airports and get home. So that's September 20th. And again, for those of you guys who are big Mark Cassetta fans, we're going to have Mark there. It's going to be awesome. So we don't have the hotel details on that, but it's going to be in Dallas, Texas, and it's going to be September 20th. So definitely don't miss that. Okay. As we get in, we've been talking about the Ethos Leads a bunch. Okay. So for those of you guys who are trying to make this work virtually, I'm lucky that I started in person, because I got a lot of bumps and bruises in person. And Nick talks about this all the time. David talks about this all the time. There are pros and cons of virtual. When you work in person, everything is wham, bam, think like you get the sale right there. You're in, you dial the lead the night before. You dial the lead the night before, you show up at their house, you're there for an hour, you build rapport for 15 minutes, you write the app, you get referral, like it's done. Okay. And the trade-offs of that is you'd book a bunch of appointments, and then, you know, let's say you book 6 appointments, you know, 2 of them are going to no-show you. They forget you're coming, they're at the grocery store, or they just straight up, like, they're at their house and they don't come to their door. Like, there's all kinds of crappy things that happen in person. Plus you're sitting on nasty, crusty couches. Okay. We have all kinds of weird stories from doing in person for final expense leads. And then the challenge with the virtual is it's just kind of like a free for all. Okay. And you're at the expense of these clients a lot of times. And so what happens is you'll book all these first calls and second calls, and then people will bail on you. And like Nick was saying on the call, like you just get your feelings hurt, and you need to have so many more leads which, by the way, the Ethos Leads, whether you buy the $18 one, by the way, the $18 leads are better. For those of you guys who don't know, like, they are better. The $8 leads, you will actually make the same amount of money buying the 18 and the 8, but there's less dialing in the $18 leads. So there's a lot of people that if you were buying the $18 leads, so people are like, oh, there's no more $8 leads. Okay, here's a pro tip. People are like, oh, well, I'm talking to people, they just got a policy last month. Okay, that's because they probably talked to the agent about the $18 lead. And then they hung up on you. And sometimes you can get them out of it and stuff like that. But it's like, had you have just spent the extra $10, you could have been the one to sell them. You know what I mean? So I buy a combination of both. Okay. You should buy both. All right. I like the $8 ones because for newer agents, they can get so much more practice on dials, and they can just get better on the phone. And it's not as bad to screw up an $8 lead as it is an $18 lead. Okay. When you're spending your own money and you're buying $18 leads, you put a little bit more pressure on yourself, but you're also getting people that the lead is a lot more fresh. So they haven't been called by 2 or 3 other people. Okay. So don't be like, oh, I need that. There's no $8 leads in my state. Like, it really, if they have $18 leads, go get those. Like, there's one sale can pay for 5 batches of leads for the next 5 weeks, 7 weeks. You know what I mean? Depending on the sale. I mean, I'll give you a great example. MK, one of the brand new girls on Rachel's team and Eli's team, she her very first sale was like $496 a month off an Ethos lead. 78-year-old guy, he had 4 or 5 policies. He was looking to see if could we get something better than what he already had. And her very first sale, $496 a month off an $8 lead. And so she bought 2 batches, and we have more sales that are coming in. But her first commission's like $4,000, you know, and she's going to make more on that one sale than she makes in a full month of working, which is crazy. And she's got tons of new opportunities in those sales too. So, and that guy literally was like waiting for us. And so you're going to get some of those on the $8 leads. You're going to get some of those on the $18 leads. You're going to buy $18 leads and they tell you to F off. And you're going to buy $8 leads and they tell you the same thing. And you're going to have really good $8 ones. You're going to have really good $18 ones. The $18 ones, you're going to get a lot less. Well, not a lot, but you'll have a little bit less of, oh, I just got that a month ago. Like you're buying it a little bit more fresh. You know what I mean? So you might be, not to say that the people that are applying on Ethos don't go to other websites and fill it out, but you're the first abandoned cart lead to call them, like agent to call them. But you didn't compete with whoever the other agent from an IMO buying it has similar products to you and whatever, okay? Get a combination of both. Most people we teach get some $18 ones, get some $8 ones, okay? But some of the $18 ones are super easy. I mean, just like they're like slam dunk ones. So if you buy a lot more older leads, you do a lot more dialing and you get more objections on the phone. When you buy the newer ones, it's more expensive. So you don't get as many, but there'll be a little bit less objections on newer leads. You still get some, but there's some slam dunks in those. There's slam dunks in every batch of the leads, but if you're buying older ones, you have to get more of them. Okay, so that's number one. And then also, like one of the things, I think Nick talked about this, and this is something I want to talk about too, is like what makes you different on the phone. One of the things I have all the new people do is record their dials so I can listen to them. And I want to hear what they sound like on the phone because I'm doing a lot of the second calls with people. Number one, I can kind of hear what the client's looking for. But number two, I'll have people that are getting slammed on the phone and unless I listen, I don't know where they're going wrong. Like I had someone last week where they were starting the phone call with, is this Sarah? Or they said like, is this, which is the number one thing we teach not to do. And had I have not known, like I could have saved that, you know what I mean? And that was the reason this person was getting hung up on a ton, you know what I mean? Whereas we all know you don't start the script like that, okay? So record your phone calls and have somebody who's having a lot of success, whether it's Nick, Rachel, somebody that's doing really, if you're on David Helgeson, Steve, David Helgeson, me, whoever's doing really well, that's in your upline, that really knows the ethos and has been talking to a lot of the clients with ethos, get them on the phone, like have them listen to your dials. It's not so we can micromanage or we're not trying to do, it's not like we're, you know what I mean, gonna slam you in front of the group like, oh my God, this person sucks. It's so it's like, hey, the next time they say, oh, I got it taken care of with this company. Hey, this is how that company works. Say this. You know what I mean? It's so we can coach you. Like our job, your upline's job is to take you from A to B as fast as possible with as least you're going to get a ton of resistance already in the business. Well, you're in commission-based, you're in sales, you're in entrepreneurship. There's already, we're trying to, if your goal is to get to 150,000 a year, whatever it is, do you want to take you 4 years to make 150 grand a year? Or do you want to do it your first year? You know what I mean? You've got to, the type of person that makes 150,000 is pretty skilled, not insanely skilled, but somewhat skilled. Okay. You can't be a newbie and know nothing to make 100 because you're gonna screw up a lot of things that like somebody that has been doing the business for a year is not going to screw up. Okay. Now, to make $500,000 a year, 400,000, like you got to be a lot better than that. You know what I mean? Because the business is so good. If you just dial enough leads, you're going to make 150 grand a year. Okay. Unless you're like just, and I've never heard one person that's been dialing really, really hard, getting on the coaching. Like you don't suck after a year. No one sucks after a year unless you're not consistent. You don't get on the calls and you don't go to the trainings and you, most importantly, you don't take coaching. All right. It's not like we coach people because it makes us feel good. All right. That has nothing to do with it. Like your upline's job is to get you paid. When people on my team don't make money, I don't make money. It's not like we charge $50 a month for people to sign up and we make money whether you make money or not. That is not, it's not like assets under management. Okay. This is not how when someone on your team sells a policy, you make money. So we want you to be insanely good, because the better you are, the better the team grows. Okay. So like and this is what I thought when Mark Hutchison was coaching me. He was like, I knew I made that guy money. And so I was like, just teach me everything. Like, I don't like, dude, coach me hard. Coach me hard. Okay. I don't care. My ego's already broken. I'm broke. I don't even give a shit. Okay. I'm already broke. Like, my ego's already broken. So you can just coach me hard. Whatever. Don't care. I've been broke my entire 20s. Can't get any worse than this. Like, just teach me what you know. And just like, I want the shortest path possible. I know I'm gonna have to go through the I get all that. Like, just coach me hard so I can, don't say this, say this. Hey, the next time when they say this, this is how AARP works. This is how Globe works. If you're working Ethos, this is how, when Northwestern Mutual says they've got a term to 80, that's the one that goes up every year. It starts off just a little bit, but then in their 40s, 50s, 60s, it's faster. Like, you already know how that works, okay? So, number one, you got to be able to be coached hard, okay? You got to be different from you have to also think, because there's so much money in insurance, a lot of people get their license all the time. So like, what makes you different from the other, when you're calling these Ethos leads, what makes you different than the other 3 to 4 people who have called them? Okay, now they might not all be from Ethos. Maybe there was only one or 2 people from actual Ethos, the company, when they were applying. Those people try and call them to get them to do the policy. Then there's the first guy that bought the lead, and then there's you if you're buying the $8 ones. Okay, how can you be better than the other 3 or 4? Obviously, we know that we have better options, but how can you portray that to the client? You know what I mean? And that's through recording your phone calls. Also, when you get in the Telegram, we have that Ethos chat. You should be listening to David's phone calls. Okay, I'm going to do a better job of posting mine in there. I have a bunch that I do with people every day for like my second calls. Okay. I'm going to do better about doing that. And I'm going to put some in there too. But like, I listen to David, like when I'm on the treadmill or when I'm on the elliptical or I'm lifting weights, a lot of times I'm not listening. Like, I'm listening to people on my team's calls. I'm listening to things that help me make money. Okay. Not Avenged Sevenfold and Metallica or whatever, you know what I mean? And that's where I do a lot of my learning, or while I'm driving and just doing all kinds of different things. So listen to those calls in the Ethos. Like, you can hear how it's like, oh my God, no wonder I'm going wrong. It sounds so natural, but really they're saying this, he's saying this, but it doesn't sound like he's overcoming it, because the way he's doing it, he's done so many of them, and he's gone through the bumps and bruises, and he's taken the coaching from Nick that he sounds natural. You know what I mean? And then when you listen to a new person dial on the phone, it's not natural. Okay. Now, there's some people that start and they're a lot better than others. There's some people that you're 50 yards away from the goal line. If the goal line's like you being really, really good, some people start 50 yards away. And then some of y'all, you start 300 yards away. You know what I mean? Because like, you don't have a lot of confidence in yourself. You're nervous. You're scared. So your previous experience in life, you haven't done a lot of personal development. You haven't read entrepreneur books. Like, your belief in yourself. Obviously, insurance works. There's a bunch of us making a ton of money. So it's not that you don't think insurance works. It's just, do you think you can do it? Okay, because not just in our team. We have people in our team making a lot of money. We have people in the alliance making a lot of money. There's people in the industry making a ton of money. Hundreds of thousands of people making 6 figures. Okay, like the financial services industry, every single year is number 1 for most new millionaires created, more than real estate and technology. Okay, so it's not that. It's what you think. Okay, and this is one of the other things Hutch taught me. This is what I want you to get. There's 3 quotes that I think about these all the time, and I tell all my new agents. If you empty your wallet into your mind will overflow your wallet. Like, most people, they just want to earn. Like, they just want to make money. They don't want to actually learn. When it's like, if you will just not be so stupid and you will learn, you will earn. That's a Robert Kiyosaki thing. Like, work to learn. If you learn, you'll out-earn everybody, because everybody else is lazy. Everybody else is short-sighted. Everybody else gives up easily. So just work on learning how Transamerica works, how these people, how to read different personality, like learn how to get good, and then you'll out-earn everybody. This is a business where you can make 2, 3, 4, 5, 10 times what someone who works a job makes. You really can. Okay, so get really good on working to learn and not earn. Now, here's the cool thing. You will earn while learning, okay? Like you can really suck. We have people their very first week selling policies, making money, okay? Especially the system that we have where you do the first call, your upline does the second call, they close, and then you do the third call to do the application. You do that for a period of time, boom. And then you're learning as you go. So you're making money and learning as you go, but don't just get on the calls and be like, oh, my upline's gonna close them or he'll, like learn why, hey, why did you say that? Why did we go with this company? Well, because like Nick said, oh, because here's a loophole in the system. They vape or they chew tobacco, but if they want a permanent, we got to get them this one first, and then we can convert it to that. You know what I mean? So like, why did we do that? You should be like, kind of like your 3-year-old. Why? You know what I mean? Don't just get the answer, make your $500 and like, you're going to have that situation again and again and again, like learn from it. You know what I mean? It's the same biblical quote. It's like, give a man a fish, feed him for a day, teach him to fish, feed him for life. Like you want to be able to get so good at this that if your mentor or upline died, like you can do this on your own and you can go print money at will. Like that's what you want. Okay. And that's what I want. I want people that are on my team. If I were to get hit by a bus or whatever, they can go out there and make 6 figures, multiple 6 figures, 7 figures, and do it with or without me. Like that's the whole goal. Like I know right now, God, and I love my upline, but if something happened to them, I'm obviously emotionally I wouldn't be good. Like I love my upline, but they don't need to teach me how to overcome. Oh, I already got that taken care of. Like I already have a policy at Northwestern Mutual or Banner or AARP or Globe or like I already, you know what I mean? Like you want to learn all those fundamentals, you know, and it'll take you maybe 6 months to 8 months to do that, 5 months. Everybody's learning curve's different. Okay. But we have people like, and I love what Marissa and Haley are doing. They're working from home. They're both cranking out $8, $9, $10, $12,000 months. They, you know, a year ago, were still working at a dental office. So, you know, making $3, $4 grand a month. So it doesn't need to take that long. Okay. Here's the other thing I learned. I think it was either Mark or Andy taught me this. No, I think it was Mark. So, and this isn't any sales-based business. Like, did you guys know real estate? People in real estate make a lot of money. Okay, not right now. All right, it's a terrible time to be a realtor right now. Not right now. But it's either 1 or 2% of people that get their real estate license, which is way harder to get a real estate license than to get your life insurance license. It costs over $1,000. It's like 2 months of studying, 3 months, like it actually like 2 months of like imagine some guy that got his life insurance license in 3 or 4 days. That guy that actually like applies, is good, whatever. That it would take that guy 2 to 3 months. It's not an easy process. It's like 10 times harder to get your real estate license than this. Only 2% or 1% of realtors renew their license every year. 1% of realtors, 2% of people that have their license make 1 sale a year. Because people hear how much money you can make, they get all excited, and then they hit a little bit of adversity and they go do something else. That is a human society. People are quitters. People are, I hate to say it, but like most people are just weak. They're weak. We live in a society of like, do nothing and make, like, it just doesn't work like that. Okay, so like in this quote that Mark taught me, he goes, 90% of people will not make it year 1. They can't handle the no-shows, oh yeah, I'll do the policy tomorrow, and then they bail on you, and they reschedule, and all this BS that happens. They cannot handle it. So 90% of people won't make it year 1. But of the people that can be here a year from now, 90% of them will make 6 figures. I want you to hear that again. 90% of people can't handle it and won't be here in 1 year. But of the people who do, 90% of them will make 6 figures. Because the numbers are just insane. You buy 40 leads a week, we get a hold of 20 of them. Of the 20, 10 tell you to F off. You book 6 appointments, you sell 4 apps. You write $3,500 or $4 grand in premium. there's your $2,500. You do that every week, like, boom. It's all numbers. You know what I mean? Eventually you learn what to say. Like you get better. You know what I mean? So it's like, if you don't stop working and if you keep learning, after a year, there's not a ton of new things that you'll learn on. Like final expense takes like 3 months to learn. Okay, they got congestive heart failure, you go Transamerica. They got COPD, you go Royal Neighbors. They're completely healthy, you go Living Prompt. Like, it's just like you learn all that. Okay, it'll be the same thing with the Ethos leads. All right, full medical, like, okay, how do we get this person a bunch of coverage and avoid a medical exam? They want permanent, but this other guy's quoting them this. Like, how do I combat that? You know? So just think about it, like, can I be here? Can I just take it? Like, and don't just like, okay, I'm gonna be here a year from now and not work. No, like, work, get better, work, fail, and then be here a year from now. Most people stop working, okay? So you'll make 6 figures. I mean, I've never seen anyone actually try and not make like $8 grand a month. I mean, you literally have to not try, okay? And if you actually treated this like a 9-to-5 job, and I was your boss and you had to make $150 to $200 a day, you would make 6 figures. You just would. But people don't do that because I'm not your boss, and I don't call you and yell at you and ask you why you didn't make 150 dials, and why you didn't follow up with that guy, and when you were scared to call this guy because they said this, that, like. But if you were at a job and that was your job, you'd have to do it or you're fired. So there's like the fear of like, if I don't do, like, but the fear is here is like, you just won't make a lot of money, or you'll make just enough. And the point of getting into sales is to get ahead in life. It's not to just get by. Sales is the highest paid profession in the world by far. Okay. The goal is to get ahead. Why? You don't want to just make 60 grand a year here. Okay. That sucks. You can't even live off that. You know what I mean? You want to get 100, 150. We got people making all kinds of money doing that. So 90% of people won't make it because they don't go to trainings. They won't take coaching. They stop making the dials. They're the best boss in the world. And they're like, no, I feel like going to the beach today. And it's a Monday and they're broke and they're not dialing. Or they make 15 dials. Okay. Is that what a high performer does? No. Okay. You work until you get the outcome that you want. That's when you stop working. Okay. Well, you technically never stop working. So, last thing. So I just want to go over just like a couple tactical things that I see in my script. Everybody's script is a little bit different. So this is the last thing, because I think I'm over time. Yeah, I told I was going to be done at 9:30. Last thing. So when I pull up the script, this is what I say. Could be right, could be wrong. This is what I say. So I have the script in front of me and I'm practicing with new people. And I know that was a lot of mindset stuff. I want to give you some like tactical stuff that we're using. So when I train people on the Ethos lead, I tell people, think about it. How is the Ethos lead created? These people were applying for, this is why I don't ever mess with other leads that are not in integrity, that are not these. These people were not like, oh, they saw something that, oh, if you've ever worked direct mail leads, it's kind of like, it says life insurance, but it's kind of misleading. You know what I mean? Not necessarily it's misleading. It says life insurance, but it's not like they were applying for life insurance. These people through Ethos were applying for life insurance within the last 2 months. Like, they started an application. And this is why I challenge all my new agents, go do that. Like, go apply through Ethos and have somebody call you. But you should go apply and see how long the stupid application is. You really, in today, with all the people that have ADHD, like, you have to sit there on your phone for like 20 minutes. They ask you about your income, your debt ratio, they ask you like all kinds of insane things. You should go through it. So these people that you're calling were literally applying for life insurance within the last 2 months. So what happened? They didn't finish it, or they didn't get the policy through Ethos. Ethos sells that data to integrity. They're like, okay, well, rather than, we didn't get the sale, so they're not gonna, pretty much you would think they're not going to, the people that get policies with Ethos, they're not going to sell that data to other agents to have them rewrite their business. So they're like, okay, we did ads. these people applied, and for whatever reason, we couldn't get them. So let's go sell this data to another agency. And we have thousands of people every day apply. And rather than us making nothing, we'll sell them for $10, 15, 18, but whatever they sell them to Ethos for, or Integrity for, which is really smart. So they sell their data to us, and then we can buy them and go write them with companies that don't suck, like Ethos did. So when you do the script, so like my opening line every single time, I have it in front of me, and I'll say, John, yes. Hey, John, it's Mike with Legacy Life. I'm getting back to you about a life insurance application you started with one of our partner carriers, Ethos. We see you didn't finish it for whatever reason. Look, what happened with that? Was the price too high? Did you get declined? Did it, did you just get too busy because the dang thing was so long? Or did you end up going with one of our other carriers? Number one, I sound way different because I said, was the dang thing too long? And a lot of people are like, yeah, that thing was so long. And I build instant report. Okay, let me go through that. John, yes. Hey, John, it's Mike with Legacy Life. I'm getting back to you about a life insurance application you did a little while back ago with Ethos. We see you didn't end up completing it for whatever reason. What happened with that? Was the price too high? Did you get declined? Did it kick you out for health reason? Was the dang thing just too long? Or did you end up going with one of our other partners? So I'm assuming whoever else they went through was one of our other partners, which it wasn't. It could have been Northwestern Mutual, could have been Banner. And if they're like, oh, I went with one of your other partners, then I go from there. Okay, and I'll go through all of the objections right now. I'm going to go through it real quick, just like some of the stuff that I'll say. And this is all stuff that you guys have heard of. But if they're like, oh, I really just don't have time like that. Hey, John, no worries. Give me 1 second. I got to update this in your file because we see you keep getting calls about this. Let me ask you one question to see if it even makes sense for me to call you back. You go, and then you keep going. And then these people that don't have time right now, I've had people that are like, oh, I'm in the middle of something. You got to call. I got this guy. And I'll be like, hey, John, before I even call you back, I'm super busy, but I got to update your file so you stop getting calls about this. I'm going to ask you one quick question just to see if it even makes sense for me to call you back. Hey, when you were applying a little while back, what happened with that? And then I'll do this same line as before, and they just tell me what happened, and then we have a good conversation. And then in my head, I'm like, okay, jackass, what happened to you being busy? That guy was associated me with whatever and was trying to get me off the phone. Okay, so that's number one. Don't have time right now. What's the other one? I already took care of it. So here's how I'll do that. I'll say, no, thank God. And I'll say, do you get it through someone else other than Ethos? And they'll be like, oh, yeah. And I'll say, oh, sweet. How long ago did you get it taken care of? About 2 months ago. Okay, John, give me 1 second. Thank God you already got it taken care of. I'm sure I'm like the 5th person that's called you about this. We see here the agent didn't note this in the file. Let me clear this so you stop getting calls about this. This will take 30 seconds. Okay, so you ended up going through, hey, what happened with Ethos? What was the reason? Was it just too high? Oh, sweet. Okay, sweet. Okay, who'd you end up going with? And I act like I'm typing. And they think I'm like typing and like clearing their file. But I'm really just buying time to keep them on the phone. Okay. Oh, sweet. Okay. Yeah. Nice. Okay. Who'd you end up going with? Oh, Northwestern Mutual. Oh, sweet. Sounds good. Did you get their term or their whole life? Oh, I got a term policy. Nice. And I'll just say, hey, did you end up going through Northwestern Mutual because, you had like a friend who was working with Northwestern Mutual? Or is that what the agent at the time said was the best rate? And what they'll usually say is, oh, like the agent at the time said that, it was the best rate. So that's why I went with them. And I'll say, oh, really? And you got term through Northwestern or whole life? Yeah, I got term. Okay, sweet. And then I'll go, huh. And I'll just like make a pause. I'll go, huh. I'm seeing here in our system at the time of the application, Northwestern was that it was the best at the time, but we had, at the time you were applying a couple months back, we were having issues with our AI generated system. It's supposed to give you the top 5 rates on the market. And Northwestern Mutual is in the top 10, but they're not in the top 5. Did you say you got the 20-year term or the 30-year? 20, 30-year term? How long was your term? 20 years? Okay, look, John, you're going to be paying that. Thank God you already got it covered. All right. Some insurance is better than, like, even if it's not the best option now, like, you need to have some. Obviously, I'm glad you got it taken care of. You're going to be paying that policy for the next 20 years. Because the time you applied, we didn't have all the best rates on there. I'm just a guy that when these files come up, your file wasn't closed out, they have me call you and just let you know we misquoted you, we got it wrong. If there was a better option available for the exact same, whether you got 500,000, a million, whatever you got, if there was something better available, would you at least want to know what that is so you have the correct options? So here's a better way to say that. Don't say, oh, would it help you if I find you, like, quote you something cheaper? Don't say quote. Don't say things like that. So what I'll say is, hey, at the time you applied, it looks like, I'm looking here, Northwestern Mutual was, but we didn't have all the options on there because our AI generated system, it's supposed to show the top 5, and Northwestern Mutuals, it's in our top 10, but it's not in our top 5. So now subconsciously the guy's thinking, okay, I got a company that's in the top 10, but not in the top 5. Who's in the top 5? And then I'll say, John, look, you're going to be paying that policy for the next 20 years. All right. Whether you're paying 50 a month, 100 a month, 200 a month, which by the way, what they quote you, 100 a month. Okay, sweet. So you'll get the face amount. Oh yeah, that looks a little high here in our system. I'm just looking at it right now. I'm already seeing like that's not even close to our top 5. Okay, here's what, and then you go into it. So a better way to say that objection is, and I know this is my ADHD, I'll just say, you're going to be paying premiums for the next 20 years, 100, 200, whatever it is. Even if there was something 30, 40, 50, 80 a month out there cheaper, over the next 20 years, if you were to find something that for the exact same coverage was a lot more affordable and it was a lot better for your family, would you at least want to know what that is? They're always going to say yes. So you ask a question that they would have to be a moron to say no to. If we found something for the exact same coverage, but it was a lot more affordable and it made a lot more financial sense for your family, would you at least want to know that's out there? Would you at least want to know what that is? What do you think? They're going to be like, no, if it's a lot more affordable and a lot better for my family, I don't want it. Then if they say no, then you're done. You know what I mean? But most people, if you ask it in a way that makes them be stupid to answer no, they say yes. Then it's like, well, hey, like I said, I work for all these companies. Sorry on our end. Like, you got the best rate at the time, but we didn't have all our options on there. All right, this will take 10 seconds. Okay, height and weight, tobacco, non-tobacco. Okay, sweet. And you told me a little bit, your goal for getting this, was it to protect a mortgage? Was it for income replacement? Were you trying to cover a debt do you have a business? You got are you like me and you got a bunch of kids and like they'd be up a creek if something happened? Like, whatever. You go into that whole deal. Oh, I'm giving you too good of stuff. This is just, yeah. Okay. Not interested. Okay. I love it when people get this one. Why do you think they're not interested? Think about it. They applied 2 months ago. So here's what I'll say. You need to you're going to get hung up on anyway. So you might as well have some balls and say some stuff like this to people. It's like, oh yeah, I'm just not interested. I'll say, oh, no worries, John. Like I see when you were applying, I see you were actually applying to get life insurance. Are you not interested anymore just because the price was too high? Or is it because you already took care of it with one of our other companies? Or are you just not interested because like insurance isn't important to your family anymore? Make him answer that. So I'll be like, oh, sweet, John, let me update this in my system so you stop getting calls about this. Hey, look, you were applying a couple months back. No worries. We see all that. Hey, are you not interested anymore because like you got declined and the price was too high? Is it because you went with one of our other partner carriers? Or is it because just life insurance just isn't important to your family anymore? You think he's going to say life insurance isn't important to my family anymore? What an asshole. Who the hell is going to say that? He's going to be like, oh, it's because I applied and then the price was it was astronomical. I saw the ad that said I could get it for $50 a month. And then now you actually have something to work with. But you, the new agent, you're just accepting, oh, I'm not interested. No. Why do you think he's not interested? It's It's because the price was too high. He got declined. He already went with somebody else, so he's not interested in you because he already made his first payment with Northwestern Mutual or Banner or John Hancock. That's why he's not interested. So once he tells you why he's not interested, you can go from there. Okay. I hope that helps. You guys use that stuff. Like the business is overcoming objections. All right. There's a reason the people that get good at it make 300, 400, 500 grand a year. Anything, if it were so easy, we wouldn't have waitresses. We wouldn't have people in construction. Like it gets easy and it gets fun when you get good. It's a pain in the ass at the beginning because you suck. You know what I mean? So you want to get to a point where you get really, really good and it becomes a game. And you really don't. And when you start making so much money, the more money you make, the less you even care that people buy. And the less you care, the more they want to buy. It's the weirdest thing. Okay. It's like the weird, creepy guy at the bar. You know what I mean? Like all like saying like, oh my God, you're so beautiful. Your hair's so like, oh God, like what? That's what like you sound like as a new agent on the phone. Okay. You want to get to a point where you're confident, where you're good, where you're like, and the business will become very, very fun. And it takes a while to get there. It takes getting on these calls. It takes coming to the trainings, and it takes being able to get coached and learn and like master your craft. This is sport. Okay. If you are overweight and you're trying to get in shape, you get a health coach. Okay. These are my goals. Okay. What did you eat this morning? I went to Einstein's. What did you eat at Einstein's? I got a bagel with cream cheese. Okay. No. Yeah, you need to stop doing that. Okay. What did you eat for lunch? I went to Chipotle. I got a burrito. Okay. Did you get tortilla? Like they're gonna like nitpick like no. If you keep doing the same things, you're gonna keep getting the same results. If you want to, okay, that's with your body, that's with everything, spiritual, all that kind of stuff. And especially with your bank account, all you have to do is find someone who's making the money that you want, doing the business that you want, and they'll just teach you exactly what they did. And that's all I did learn from Nick. I've learned a bunch from David Helgeson. I've learned a bunch from other people. I've learned a bunch from watching random videos on YouTube. And that's how you grow and improve. So hope that helped. Love you guys. We'll see you in 2 weeks in family reunion. And definitely do not miss that event in Dallas. That's going to be lit. So love you guys. It's 6 months through the year. If you're not having the year you want, it can change really, really fast. Like 2025 is halfway gone. Let's go rip it up the rest of the year. Love you.